Akim Shalom. This is the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA. Today is the Sabbath class where we read out of the Hebrew first, then we translate it into the English. But before that, we're going to say the prayers. All right. La Yashra Allah. So we're going to rise and face the east. And the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwafka, Thabaa, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawo, Haya, Ba Shemayim, Nathundanawa, Lakam, Kal Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'a, Thabaya Ayanawa, Banasayawan, Habod, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahathapara, La'aiwalamyam, Aman. And in the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Second prayer, the Haka, the power. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashai, Babakushah, Nafunlanawa, Haka, Larapaa, Kalmakala, Wakalmadawa, Haka, Lasaha, Hamatazarayam, Haka, Lahakuyam, Hamathium, Haka, Arakawaf, Hatama'ala, Lagarishan, Bahashim Yahawashai, the Wada Aman. And in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahawashai, thank you, so be it. The blessings, Barakatha Yahweh, Wa Yahawashai, Wa Mayaka'ala, Wa Alahayim, Mata Zabiya'ah, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapium, Ha Sarunium, Ha Quatazayunium, Ha Kaliyayalium, Wa Akwafium, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashai, the Wada Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahawashai, and Michael, and the angels, Commanding General YAHANNA, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121. Asher Ayanya, Al-Hahayim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'ayim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathun, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemaka, Hanala'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashun, Shawama, Yashra'ala, Yahweh, Shemaka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a Yakayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamaka, Mikal Rai, Yashama, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashama, Ataza Afka, Wabawa Ayaka, Ma'aita, Wa'aid Iwalam. Amen. And in the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83. Al-Hayim, Al-Damayalakar, Al-Fakarash, wa Al-Fashakwat, Al-Kayahanna, Awab-Yakar, Yahama-Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Aimakar, Ya'i-Rayamwa, Sawada, Wayathar, Ya'i-Atazawa, Al-Tazar-Pawanyakar, Amawa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Mogaya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yashra'ala, Iwada, Kaya, Nawa'ai Tazawa, Lava, Yakadwa, Al Yakar, Bayath, Yakarathwa, Alahaya, Adawam, Wa Yashma Aliyam, Mawa'aba, Wa Hagayam, Gabod, Wa Aimawan, Wa Aimalak, Palashaf, Aim Yashabya, Tazawa, Gum Ashawa, Nalawa, Aimam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadian, Kasaya, Sarah, Kayabyan, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayandara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathamwa, Nadar Yabmawa, Kaira, Wakazahaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazal Manai, Kalnasayakamwa, Ashar, Amawa, Naya Rashah, Lanawa, Af, Na'awaf, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Kaash Tabaaya, Wa Kalahaba, Falahat, Hayam, Kantharadatma, Basa Iraka, Wabas, Wapafka, Dabalaham, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Waya Abashwa, Shemka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Waya Bahalwa, Ayai, Waya Kapawa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Da'aiwa, Kaya Atha, Shemka, Yahweh, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kaha, Aratza, Aman. And in the English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabor and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have a hope in the children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, as the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Horeb and like Zayed. Yea, all their princes as Zabar and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the Most High in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, are the Most High over all the earth. So be it. The curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishments and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishments and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishments and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Pasikomatazzi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always. So be it. And with that, we're going to have a seat. Right. See who's online. Shalom, Yanokwaf, Big Matthew, Emily, Samaz. And no, we're not Arabs, we are Israelites. But yeah, all right, and see who else is in before we get to it. Shalom, Kapabanaf, Shalom, Sanja, as well, man. Good to see you in the class. Shalom, Dwayne Davis, Eric Littleton, Ra'alban, enough respect. Shalom Yakanan as well. All right, then let's get to it. So we was in Genesis 4. Get it in the Hebrew. So it's Genesis 4:1. So I'll read it in the Hebrew. Then, of course, I will translate it into the English. Shalom Mawasar as well, man. Good to see you here as well, man. So in the Hebrew first, Genesis 4:1. Wa Adam, Yadai, Af, Kawa, Ashar Thawa, Wa Hatha, Wathalad, Af, Kwawan, Watha, Mara, Kwanaya, Thaya, Ayash, Af, Yahweh, Wathasap, La Ladaf, Af, Ak, Yawa, Af, Habal, Wa Haya, Waya Habal, Ra'ai, Ataza'al, Wakwa, Yawan, Haya, Ibad, Ada, that is Adama, Waya Haya, Makwataza, Yamayam, Waya Ba'a, Kwa Yan, Mapaya, Ha'adam, Manak, La Yahweh, verse 4. Waha, Wahabal, Habaya, Gum, Hawa, Maba, Kara, Watha, Ataza'a, Nawa, Wamak, La Ba'an, Waya Sha'ai, Yahweh, Al, Habal, Wa'al, Manak, Thawa, verse 5. Wa'al, Wa'a, Kwawan, Wa'al, Manak, Thawa, La'a, Yashai, Wayak, Wayaka, Lakwa, Yawan, Mada, Laya, Pal, Lawa, Panyawan, verse 6. Waya, Waya Ama, Yahweh, Al, Kwayawan, Lama, Ka, Ra'a, Laka, Wala, Ama, Nepal, it is Nepalwa, Panyahum, the last verse. It is Halawa, Thaya, Tawab, Sha'af, Wa'am, La'a, Thaya, Tawab, it is Lapathak, Kata, Af, Ra, Batazar, Wa'al, Yana, Thasha, Wakwa, Thawa, Wa'atha, Thama, Shala, Bawa. So we're going to read it in the English. No, sorry. So Genesis 4. Correct me if I'm wrong if we read this last week, but this is, I believe, where we was. No. Sorry. Genesis 4 and 15. No, 16. So Genesis 4 and 16. So Genesis 4 and 16. I'll read that in the Hebrew, then I'll read it in the English. So Genesis 4 and 16. Waya Atazar, Kwayawa, Malapanya Yahweh, Wayashab, Ba'aratza, Nawad, Kwa Damath, Idawa. Next verse. Wayadai, Kwayawan, Ath, Ashar, Thawa, Watha, Haya, Watha, Wathalad, Ath, Kana, Waka, Wa Yahaya, Bana, Aya, Wayakwara, Shum, Ha'ai, Ya'a, Kashum, Banawa, Kanawak. Verse 18. Wa Yawa, Lada, Lak, Nawaka, Af, Ayarad, Wa'ai, Rada, La'ad, Af, Makawa, Ya'al, Wamak, Ya'al, Yal is Yalad, Af, Makar, wa Sha'al, Wamak, Watha Yasha'al, Yalad, Af, Lamak. Verse 19. Wayakwak, Lawa, Lamak, Shafaya, Nashayim, Shum, Ha'akaf, Aid, Washum, Shanayaf, Atazar La'a. Verse 20. Watha La'aid, Aida Af, Labal, Hawam, Haya, Abaya, Yashab, Al, Wamak, Na'a. Verse 21. Washam, Ak, Yawabal, Awar, Haya, Anya, Kal, Thapash, Kanawa, Wa'ai, Nagab. Verse 22. Watazar, La'a, Gum, Hawa, Lada, Af, Thawa, Bal, Kwa Yawa, Latash, Kal, Karash, Nakaash, Waba, Razal, Wabazal, Wa'aka, Watha, Thawabal, Kwayawan, Na'ai, Ma'a. 23. Waya, Amar, Lamak, Lana, Shawa, Aid, Watazar, La'a, Shama'aiwa, Kwawalya, Nashaya, Lamak, Amaza, Amar, Thaya, Kaya, Ayash, Hara, Gafya, Lapataza, Ya'ai, Wayalad, La Kam, Bar Ratham. So we're going to read it in the English. All right, so Genesis 4 and 16. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Anad on the east of Eden. So now this verse lets you know that Adam and Eve weren't the only people on the earth, because now with them their son, whose name was a Cain, he got the curse from the Lord. Then he went to a place called Nod. Now, if they was the only people on the face of the earth, where does this land Nod originate from? Why is it called Nod? It doesn't make sense. And if you know ancient history, any name of a land, it comes from a man. It's not like nowadays, but in ancient times, a name of a land come from a man, and his descendants would call that land after his name. So for this land Nod, there would have to be a man called Nod, and his descendants would have called this land Nod, which shows you that they weren't the only ones on the face of the earth at this time. And Cain knew his wife, and there you go again. So if Adam and Eve were the only people on the earth, and remember now, he slew his brother Abel, then where does this woman come from? Which, makes the point even more that Adam and Eve were obviously not the only people on the face of the earth. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch, and he builded a city. And again, this lets you know even more that they're not the only people on the earth. For you to build a city, that requires lots of work. And one man and his son and his wife can't make a city. That involves lots of people. This lets you know that they wasn't the only people on the face of the earth. A city consists of thousands of people. You wouldn't build all that for you, your son, and your wife. It doesn't make sense. A city, it's made for loads of people, thousands. So again, that's another point out there as well. A city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. You know what I mean? And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Mehujael, and Mehujael begat Methuselah, and Methuselah begat Lamech. And Lamech took unto himself two wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other was Zailah. And Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have a cattle. So now this is breaking down, what happened in the beginning. Now this ain't the beginning for everyone. This is the beginning of Adam and Eve. So once they got the laws of God, they transgressed against the Lord, and what their descendants, people that descend from them, just did afterwards. Jubal, and his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handled the harp and organ. And Zillah, she bare I.S.U.P.K, an instructor of every artificer in brass and the iron, and the sister of I.S.U.P.K was Naima. One second. Yeah. Yeah. Of the harps and the organs, I.S.U.P.K, And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wound. So now, why is Lamech saying this, that he slayed a man to his wound? Meaning what? He slayed a man and it's going to hurt him. Why? Because with the oppressor, if you wasn't in the class or the Sabbath class last week, with the spirit of hate that was in a Cain, that same spirit is in our oppressor today as well, man.
That's right.
And the same way the word back then is like, I slew a man to my wound, meaning I slew a man and it's gonna hurt me. You wanna know why? Because this man didn't do nothing wrong, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? You took the life of someone and you shouldn't have done, because that person done you nothing wrong. And now he's hurt about it. It's like, damn, I killed someone and it's gonna hurt me.
Right.
Because this person done nothing wrong. And that is our oppressor today, man.
That's right.
He would take a life of a black man or a Hispanic man, and he knows it's wrong. He's like, I hurt myself. I've done something that I should not have done. But do you want to know why it happened? Because of his bloodlust, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's such in the lust of, I'm going to kill that person. I'm going to take their life. That when it's all done, it's like, why did I do that? You know what I mean? I hurt myself. I've done something I shouldn't have done. But in the moment of his lust and his desire to take a life, he does it anyway, man.
That's right.
Wounding, and the young man to my hurt, meaning I've done it and it's going to hurt me. If you want, you can read on from verse 24.
Have you got the other mic?
Oh,
Verse 24 over here.
okay.
4 verse 24. So, okay. Genesis chapter 4 and verse 24. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and 7.
So now what does this part mean here? He knows that he's a descendant of who? A Cain. And he knows, listen, if someone takes his life, they're going to get a lot much worse. So guess what? Me being his descendant, if someone harms me, they're going to get worse too, man.
That's right.
He knew that I've done wrong, but hey, if someone harms me, then guess what, man? They're going to get it worse. So meaning, at first he's sad, he wounded a man to his hurt. But then he's like, hang on, I'm a descendant of Cain, man. Anyone harms me, they're going to die, man.
Right.
And that's the white man today, man. He knows with all the law, all the benefits that are on his side, even though I do wrong, really, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? I feel bad at first. You know what I mean? Why did I do it? But hey, the law's on my side, man. I'm a white man. I go to court and act like I'm sad and I'm sorry. Then what's going to happen, really, man? You know what I mean? I act like I'm sorry or I was threatened for my life. Then guess what, man? I'm getting away with this.
Right.
And that's what one of Cain's grandsons said, man. Like, listen, if you can't harm him, then you definitely can't harm me, man. Reader.
Verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth.
So now, you know what I mean? Obviously now, once Abel was dead, and with a Cain, he went off, had his kids. With Adam, he knew his wife Eve again, man, meaning they had other kids, and one of their names was Seth. Reader.
For God said, she hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
Yeah, man. So I believe if you look at the word Seth, it does mean like another son or like another descendant or something like that. If you look it up, why? Because her first son died, man. Why? Because with the son who didn't want to do what God wanted, he you know what I mean, he rose up on him in the same book that we are reading right now, man. He took his life, and I should like, listen, now I have another son, man, instead of Abel. Reader.
And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Mm-hmm. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord.
So now, how did men begin to call upon the name of the awed. Why? Because with Adam, he knew the law, and obviously his son. What is his son gonna know? The law, man.
Right.
And that's how men began to call upon the name of the Lord, man. Because he's a direct descendant of Adam right there. He's not like a Cain who sinned and who went off. This is a son that obeyed, man. And that's how men began to call upon the name of the Lord. Read it.
Chapter 5 and verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam in the day that God created man. In the likeness of God made he him.
And then, man, and I know in Genesis 5 and 1, people like to believe that Adam and Eve, they were the only ones on the earth because of Genesis 5 and 1. But there's a key point that people miss out, man. This is the book of the generations of Adam. Right. Meaning it's talking about, you know what I mean, his descendants. In the day that God created man. Now here's the problem. People start right there. God made man. But there's the other part. In the likeness of God made he them. That's the making right there, man. Right. The making is the likeness. Now, what is the likeness of God? Following the laws, man. Right. Following the rules of God. Being able to hearken unto God, man. Right. That's the making. The making he made Adam and his wife only. You know what I mean? He's talking about the emphasis is in the likeness of God, man. Right. Reader.
Genesis chapter 5 and verse 2. Male and female created he them, and he blessed them and called their name Adam in the day when they were created.
And there, man. And now, guess what? All of Adam's descendants, they're called Adam. And you know what's funny about it? If you go to Luke 3, you get the same backdrop. And then it goes with Adam, he was the son of God, man. Right. All it's letting you know is that anyone that came from Adam's line, they was called Adam, man. Right. That's all it is. Whether you was a male or a female, you know what I mean? You was called Adam. Why? Because you come from Adam's line, man. That's right. And that's why I don't want to jump too far ahead. When you read Genesis 6 and 1 about the sons of God, really you should read from here first, then read Genesis 6 and 1. Right. And that lets you know that the sons of God are not angels, man. Right. You're talking about the people from Adam's line, they mess with the daughters of men, meaning people that weren't from Adam's line, man. That's right. Reader.
Verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth. And
there you go, man. After his image, man. That's letting you know what the invention is right there, man. Right. After his image, meaning the same way Adam had the ability to follow the law, hearken to the Lord, Seth had the same ability too, man. Right. He raised him right, man. Abel died, and with Cain, he went off, man. Right. Reader.
Verse 4. And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years.
Yeah, man. So with Adam, he lived a very long time, man. You know, in this day and age with cancer and all what we face, we're lucky to live till 60. Right. You know what I mean? You live to 65, you know, someone pats you on the back, like, you know what I mean? You're doing something right, man. While as, you know what I mean, in ancient times, men lived to all 800 years, man. That's right. Reader.
And he begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Adam lived were 930 years.
So correction, man. Adam lived 900 years, man. Right. You know what I mean? That's almost 1,000, man. Imagine that, man. You seen things come and go, man. This car go, this horse go, this fashion. You know what I mean? You've seen a lot, man. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? If the Lord allow in the kingdom, we can get back to that, man. That's right. Reader.
And he died, verse 6. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos.
And then, man, so that gets onto his descendants. But that is a class today. So next week we'll be finishing off in Genesis. So we'll be beginning from Genesis 5 and 6. Was it 7? All right. So yeah. So we'll start that. So I Madium.